Good morning, and welcome to Cars in Action. Now, as a motoring journalist, people are always asking you about the types of cars you've driven. But if there's one specific car that comes up more than anything else, it's this behind me, the Nissan GT-R. Now, I've been waiting ever since I got into this job to drive one of these, and now my time has finally come. So is the 2012 GT-R everything I thought it would be? You bet it is. This thing is absolutely amazing. It just defies what you think a car is physically capable of doing. Under the bonnet is a 3.8 litre twin-turbo V6 engine with variable geometry turbos that develops 397 kilowatts and 628 newton meters of torque. That gets this thing from 0 to 100 in about 2.8 seconds, or so Nissan claims, but we recently tested it up here at reef altitudes and we did it in 3.6. So not quite as fast as they say, but still bloody fast. Interior-wise, well, that's probably my one slight disappointment about this car. Some of the surfaces and materials look a bit cheap, and in terms of the actual design, there's nothing cool about it. It's just functional, but it's not ugly looking, certainly not. One thing that it could really lose is the rear seats. I mean, they are beyond useless. It's not even like you can squeeze small children in here. I mean, here the seat is literally pressing up against the back of my seat, so it can really lose those. Otherwise, I mean, it's decently comfortable in here. I've got, enough headroom and legroom and that. Visibility is good, although you have to keep in mind at all times that this is a very, very big car. To understand how this car can do the sort of things that it does, you really need to understand the level of attention to detail, the almost obsessive need to make this car as perfect as it can be. To give you an idea of the sort of anal attention to detail that the Nissan engineers have put into this car, right-hand drive models actually have an asymmetrical suspension setup. This is done in order to compensate for the weight of the driver being on the right-hand side of the vehicle, as well as the propeller shaft also being located on the right. So you'll find, for example, that the front left-hand side of the car has harder spring rates. I mean, you actually have to really pay attention to the tiny little details, because that is what makes this car so unbelievable. Problems with the GT-R? Well, this isn't really your everyday kind of supercar. You wouldn't want to use it to go to the store to pick up a loaf of bread. It hates being in confined spaces. It hates driving slowly. It doesn't like being in reverse. You can always hear the mechanics of the car, the differentials and the gearbox clicking and making all sorts of noises. This car was made with one mission in mind: to get to the horizon as quickly as possible and kick it in the balls. handling wise, well, this thing, I mean, it was just built on an entirely different set of rules. It's taken the laws of physics as we know them and ripped them to shreds. You will absolutely not believe the kind of speed this thing can do through the corners. Obviously, it's got the special four-wheel drive system, and I mean, it just makes you feel like a driving god. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. You can just get on the power really early in a corner, get on it late, do whatever the hell you want. This thing will sort it out. Don't think though that it won't get you into trouble. When you put the traction control into R mode, the pack end can get a little bit happy now and then, and you, with the speed that this thing covers ground, you really have to be on your guard. It's not the most comfortable thing either. So on a bumpy road, you feel everything. Still, it's not uncomfortable. I've been in some hot hatchbacks that are more uncomfortable than this. But let's just say that if you're looking for a high-end sports car or supercar that you can use every day to go to the office or whatever, you might be better off with a Porsche 911 of some form. But if you want this kind of performance, better be the Turbo S. So here we are back at the office, and I have to say I'm going to be quite sad when I have to give the keys to this thing to someone else. It's one hell of a car. It was definitely worth the wait to drive this thing, and I just hope we can find another excuse sometime in the near future so we can get it back for another go.